Okay, Prof, thank you so much for making time to talk to us in the series that we're doing on AI and how it is impacting the journalism sector, specifically in South Africa, but globally. You have been really busy in this space, and I'd like us to start off with you telling us about some of the research that you've been doing. I know that you have been working on a special issue as well with one of the international journals. Tell us more about that.
So first of all, let me say thank you very much for inviting me to this program. And I think it's a wonderful space to engage around the issues of what is happening to contemporary journalism. So I think with regards to artificial intelligence, what I have really tried to do is I've been working on a series of projects, as you have pointed out, that focus on how AI has been used, how journalists are responding, how media organizations are also responding to the wave of what we call AI. The issues around AI that scholars are grappling with are exactly the same issues of AI that newsrooms themselves are grappling with. For example, the question of what exactly can AI do is still a very topical issue. And remember, when you talk of AI, it's a gamut of technologies. So people are still trying to understand it from a technology-specific approach. What specific technology does what? And others are trying to look at what is it that these avalanche of technologies that big techs are keep piling on us are going to do? How are these technologies going to redefine news? So the picture there is around one. I can put in the thematic issues around the political economy of AI. How is it affecting newsrooms in terms of the production of the technologies themselves, the instructions within the technologies themselves, something that we can talk about later, and the issues around affordances. What is it that AI can really do to news? And then the fear question. There is also the fear question that I think keeps permeating around what researchers are looking at. Will AI take journalism jobs? And I think you would obviously understand how important this question is, considering that in Africa, we are already in a continent where jobs are scarce. And then there comes these technologies that look like they will take jobs. So these are some of the issues that keep coming up in the special issue. I think some of the papers are already online for the special issue. We are still dealing with a few reviews.
So with this particular conversation, it's World Press Freedom Day on the 3rd of May, and the theme globally is around AI and its impact on press freedom. In your view, what is the most significant opportunity and what's the most pressing red flag that you see on the horizon when it comes to AI and press freedom? Is it a friend or is it a foe?
It's difficult for me to say it is a friend or a foe at the same time, because I think the reaction obviously is mixed here. But as you rightfully ask, I think I want to maybe flesh the conversation around important aspects to take note of. And let me talk about this from an African perspective. So you will notice that when we talk about AI, we are saying the technologies are many. The technologies of AI are basically many. So we have technologies that produce content. We have technologies that can help you improve on writing the news script. We have technologies that can actually lead you to, that can show you sources, which sources to consult. So in terms of that, we already have technologies that will help augment and strengthen the processes of newsmaking. But we are also supposed to be scared of specific project or programs. For example, if we take this in total altogether, we need to ask, how do these technologies work? And when we ask this question, we need to juxtapose it with the normative role of journalism.
Obviously, you are not a computer scientist, but I'm sure in the course of the research that you've been doing, you've been grappling with the thing behind the technology, who writes the rules? How do we then ensure that AI serves democracy and preserves access to credible information, and in so doing, empowering citizens? We've seen things like hallucinations that sometimes happen with generative AI, and that really has got a big impact on misinformation. We've seen AI being used to create fake voices, fake videos, etc. And it really is about who is getting to make the rules. Do you have any thoughts around how we can ensure that AI serves democracy?
Yeah, I think you actually sum it well, basically, because you are raising the core issues at the question of AI and ethics. The rudimentary one would be the one that everyone is talking about. Do we want to share a byline with AI? Remember, we have this thing that we call journalistic capital. And the journalistic capital, according to scholars, it is basically the capital that journalists have. Michael Studson talked about it. Capital is, what is it that the power that a journalist has? So look at one of South Africa's most celebrated investigative journalists, Sam Saul. His capital lies in tying the threads around and exposing. That's his capability. So he has capital in that regard. But what happens to this thing that we call journalistic capital when AI takes over? Are we saying now our news-making processes are being given to machines? We trust it with machines. And as you said, you framed it very well. We trust journalism as one of those institutions amongst many other menus of society that is supposed to safeguard AI.
Help us navigate the AI news jungle, as I call it. What skills do media professionals generally, but journalists in particular, need to be able to keep apace with all of these changes that are happening?
I was once asked, this is a very brilliant question, Prof, that you're asking. It is the more problematic one. I was once asked this question by some journalists when I was doing a presentation. And my answer has always been one. The most important skill that journalists require at this moment is the skill to know which AI technology to use and which ones not to use. This is, for me, very key, because journalists might end up taking I call it the lazy approach. We have AI that can edit for me. We have AI that can find sources for me. We have AI that can even structure paragraphs for me. It can give me a byline. It can give me the who, what, all those things about journalists. That's the lazy approach. Journalists should be careful. Even news managers who make the final decision to procure the technologies, they need to be careful. What kind of technology do they want? They should avoid the lazy approach. People have been saying we need to take journalists to training. They need to understand. There is no way, I have always said, you cannot train a person for technologies that are erupting. They are literally erupting. And more are coming. We have a ChatGPT 2 6 months ago. Now we are at 4. In next year, we'll be at ChatGPT 8. How do you keep abreast with that? You just need to make people that they are professionally intelligent to say, this one is not the technology that we want. This is the technology that we want. We should avoid the take-all syndrome, where we say every technology that comes should be taken hook, line, and sinker. Let us swallow it. This is what we want. We need to be able to say, we don't want this. We need to fence. Let us policy journalism as a field. And to protect its legitimacy, we are also supposed to be very careful around which technologies that we want. That is the most important thing to protect the legitimacy of journalism. We are bound to ruin its legitimacy if we think that everything goes. Journalism is not painting. Painting is more worried about producing the best paint, the best picture. If we want to produce our own version of Mona Lisa, we can do that. But journalism is not like that. It is about serving society. It is about informing society. So it cannot swallow every technology. So the most important skill is the skill to define what kind of AI is required and which one should not be accommodated.
Thank you so much, Prof. Really very insightful, and well done on all the work that you've been doing to just shed light from a research perspective and the capacitation you've been giving to newsrooms. I think society will be better off because of it. Thank you so much.
And thank you for inviting me to this chat. I look forward to more collaboration around this research.
Awesome.